What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH. Listen, this episode was intense. It was a lot. It was like an emotional roller coaster. It was insane. Um, I'm not even gonna waste time with the small stuff. I just want to get to the big stuff. The Carly and Jason scene. Lord have mercy. I always knew. It never shocked me that Carly had romantic feelings for Jason. When she admitted that and that she was falling in love with him again, like she did years ago when she first met him and stuff, it didn't shock me. That did not shock me. You know what I'm saying? I expected that. We always knew Carly had feelings for Jason. We always knew that. Look at the way she always acted whenever he was dealing with another female. She would be possessive, always dismissive of the woman. You know what I mean? That was clear signs she wanted him. Um, what did kind of shock me was, and I say kind of, was Jason admitting that he has romantic feelings for Carly because we see how Carly acts towards him, but we never really saw Jason give it back in return. Like he never really returned her, her romantic signals and stuff. Like he always looked at her like she was just a friend. But now we finally got those answers from him. And basically, he admitted that for years he suppressed his real feelings for her, like his romantic feelings because of Sonny, when she was with Sonny and stuff. But now that they're engaged, he saw himself starting to fall in love with her. I said, wow. I didn't see that coming. I really didn't. Like I said, I wasn't shocked by Carly's admission of feelings, but I was by Jason's. I was like, really? Um, it's hard for me to see it because it's like I've never seen them as anything but friends. Like that's when I look at Carly and Jason, that's all I see. Like I see friends. That's it. Not to say friends can't become lovers too, because they can, and I think that's a great foundation to start. You know what I'm saying? Because some people just get in relationships with people and not become their friend first. And I'm big on becoming friends first before you get into a relationship with them. That way when you do get into a relationship, you pretty much know what you're getting. You know what I mean? Like it's no big surprise about how they act and what they do because you know their habits, all that stuff. And it makes the relationship a lot easier. But with Jason and Carly, it's just for me, I've always seen them as nothing more, like ever. Like I never even thought 10 years ago, if you told me 10 years ago, hey, Jason and Carly are going to become a couple, I would have laughed in your face and said, nah, nah, because they got that brother, sister, best friend thing going. And I don't see anything other than that. But that's just my opinion. That's just me. Lord. But you know what? I'm glad they had that conversation because it was a real conversation that needed to be had. And, Carly admitted that she was worried about marrying him for the simple fact that if she fell in love with him again while they got married or when they get married, he wouldn't return the feelings. And if he doesn't return the feelings, she would have ended up resenting him. Um, and Jason was asking her, like, do you want to go through with this? He was like, you don't want to get married, we don't have to get married. But he said if they do get married, if she does want to go through with it, basically he was saying what started out as business for them, he wants it to be real. So instead of them initially getting married, to protect the business and stuff and protect the family, he wants it to be a real marriage, is what he's saying. I was shocked by that. I was thrown off. I said, what? Real marriage? I'm trying to wrap my head around the two of them possibly being a real couple. Like I really am. Um, and then when they started kissing, I was like, Lord have mercy. Ugh, I gotta get used to this. I need a glass of wine or something. I got, I gotta get used to this mess. And then I started thinking about Britt. I said, oh. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like Britt and Jason had some big romance or nothing like that. They didn't. But I was really feeling the chemistry between them, though. And I really could see him with her. You know what I mean? But you know what? On to the next one. It's like, as much as I feel bad that him and Britt may not get together, I'm cool with Britt moving on. You know what I'm saying? Get her somebody new. That's good. And I love the way Britt taking it, but this was a bit of a blow. I was like, damn. Because eventually, when Sonny does come back, I'm like, it's gonna be a mess. Like, where are the feelings gonna lie? See, this is why I say we don't know which way Sonny's gonna go. Because, like I said, as Mike, he has real feelings for Nina. But once he get his memories back, he's gonna be angry with Nina. He's probably gonna be angry with Jason and Carly. You know what I mean? Because we know how Sonny can get. You know, he sees this as a betrayal. If you know the Sonny character, he's gonna see this as a betrayal at first. But maybe after some conversation, maybe he might see, like, you know, they really did step up and protect my territory. You know, maybe he'll see reason. But as far as Nina go, something tells me he's gonna be angry with her. But what if those Mike feelings are still in him as Sonny? You know, and Sonny starts really like seeing Nina like, okay, I really do got feelings for her, not just as Mike, but as me. You know what I mean? Like that's a possibility. I know some people say no, it's not gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna happen. It's a possibility. Is all I'm throwing out there. I'm not saying it will, but it's possible. I just feel like when Sonny come back, it's gonna be mess. It's gonna be mess. Big mess. A whopper of a mess. So anyway, moving on from that. Speaking of Sonny, Jax was, you know, irritating my soul a little bit. Because he just wasted so much time pretty much yelling at Nina about how crazy she is for, you know, keeping Sonny away from his family and stuff. And she admitted to Jax that she fell in love with Sonny, you know, and that she feels like what's better, having Sonny back or having Mike. And I agree with Jax. It doesn't matter what they think is best. It does not matter. That's not their call. And he made a good point. He said it's not your decision, it's not my decision. You know what I mean? What pissed me off as Jax was he kept telling Nina, oh, you have to tell him the truth. Jax, sir, there's two ways I feel he could have handled this. Instead of telling Nina that she needs to tell Sonny the truth, because we all know she's not going to do it. If she was, she would have done it a long time ago. I feel like what Jax should have done was he should have took a picture of Sonny, preferably with Nina in the picture, and sent it to, you know, Carly, Michael, Jason, somebody, you know, or he could have Googled Sonny and showed Mike who he is, showed him a picture, showed him his name, all his, you know, Wikipedia history, like just show him that. You know what I'm saying? Those are a couple of options that Jax could have took because we all know Nina ain't gonna say nothing. And I really hope Jax says something because he feels strongly about this. You know what I'm saying? Jax, he's known for doing some low things. He does, but he really feels strong about this because even he had to admit that Sonny being back in Port Charles, as much as he hated to admit it, it was kind of good for business because things are spiraling out of control. I have to agree with Jax. I have to agree with him on this because if Sonny was around, the five families would have never, they wouldn't have been buck wild like they were right now. I mean, you know, the five families are known to be a little fickle even in the past, but Sonny, you know, the last few five family meetings that Sonny went to over the last couple of years, they were afraid of Sonny. They would have never crossed him or his organization the way that they're trying to now. They wouldn't have been that bold if he was around, but they see it as weak now without Sonny. You know? Even with Jason's reputation. Jason's reputation is a strong reputation, but so far, his reputation alone can't keep them afloat. You know? Look at everybody trying them. You need Sonny back in that town. As much as some people hate to admit it, but I'm like, you know, he struck fear. You know, with the duo of Sonny and Jason, nobody wanted to mess with them. But when you got just Jason, it's like, you know, you can mess with him. But I was hoping that Jax would have just said, you know what, I'm gonna tell you, I'm just gonna let it be known. That's what I was hoping he would have did. I was pissed when Sonny took that watch off and threw it into the woods. I said, no, Sonny, pick the. I feel like when Sonny get his memories back, he's gonna regret throwing that watch in the woods. He probably gonna send some guards out to go look for it though. But yeah, it's messy. And Nina, you know, she could sit there and try to look all victimized all she want to. You look like a fool, Nina. You look like a real nutball. I'm just saying, like she needs to be put in Shady Brook. So anyway, moving on from that, Portia. Lord have mercy, Portia. Like her and Jordan were just in dire straits. You know what I'm saying? And Portia knew it. That's why she was kind of pissed, because if this was her dying moment, she knew she had to get out that basement. Because she even admitted that Trina needs to know the truth about her father, who her father is. I was like, it's about time, Portia. It's about time. See, this is why I said months ago, I've been saying it. Curtis could not take her word for it. You cannot take that woman word. I hate when people do that. If you have a suspicion that there's a possibility somebody could be your child, and the other parents say, no, it's not possible, no, it's not your child, do the test anyway to be sure. Because they could either be lying or they don't know for sure. Do the test so you can be sure. You can't just take their word for it. So, Curtis finally came back to the house or whatever and got them out the basement and stuff, and they are in dire straits. They really need to get Jordan to the hospital now, because she only got one kidney. She inhaled a lot of that gas leak and that, carbon monoxide and all that stuff. She done, breathed that stuff in for too long. And with only one kidney, she gonna have a fight on her hands if they don't get her there quick. So I'm glad they did get her to the hospital fast. But, it's time for Portia to, tell the truth. It's time for the truth to come out. I can't defend Portia on this, and I've defended her in the past about, Trina being in her business about what happened with her and Curtis back in the day, but I can't defend this. It's like, you put this on yourself. You should have told her the entire truth when you had the opportunity to do it. You know what I mean? Like, now you're just going to strain your relationship not only with Curtis, but you're going to strain your relationship with your daughter yet again, that you just started getting back right with. And, it's going to take even longer for her to fix it, and there's no way to fix it. You're just going to have to get on your knees and apologize every single day and kiss some major booty. That's what you're going to have to do. Better buy them a steak dinner or something. That's what you ought to do. So anyway, moving on from that. BLQ with her shenanigans yet again. This girl stayed with some foolishness. Now she basically trying to pimp Maxie out just to save and protect ELQ. Like, that's the way I saw it. BLQ was the pimp, Maxie was turning into the hoe. That's pretty much what it was. And even I'm glad Maxie called her out on it, because even Maxie figured it out when she wanted her to invite Austin out for a cup of coffee or something like that. Maxie was like, "Oh, I know what you're doing." She was like, "You think you're slick? You want me to get close to him just to protect ELQ?" And that's exactly what she wants you to do. She wants you to cozy up to him, so that way he could be all soft and stuff around Maxie, so that way he could just abandon his whole inheritance from ELQ. So that way he, he'll forget all about it. I'm like, that ain't gonna work. That plan is not gonna work. And Maxie jumped the shark. Let me tell you, she jumped the gun so far when she was talking to Austin. I'm like, Maxie, BLQ advised you to invite him out to coffee, not to the wedding of Jason and Carly. That's a hell of a leap. She talking about, oh, you want to come with me to the wedding? Since I planned it and all. I'm like, Maxie, invite the man out to a cup of coffee, not a wedding, dear. That's not what the assignment was. You missed the assignment. And who's to say Jason even wants him there? Like, Jason don't know him like that, and from what I saw, Jason ain't all that too fond of him either. So, like, Maxie, tread lightly. But like I said, I don't trust Austin fully. Any new character that come on the show, I don't fully trust. And for all we know, they stressing about him finding out, remembering what, happened the night Louise was born. They're so stressed out about him finding that out. How do you know he don't already remember? For all we know, he probably do remember, because last time he was talking to them, he was like, oh, I remember two women talking. He probably already remember. He probably just toying with y'all. I wouldn't put it past him. You better tread lightly with him. Because that's a sticky situation. But anyway, moving on from that, I'm glad that Austin and Ned had that conversation about little Leo, because something is not right with the boy. You know what I mean? And Ned even told Austin that he was worried about Leo's quietness, because he's quiet a lot of times. Like, he doesn't really speak all the time. So he was worried about that. And that's why, Austin wants to run more tests and, check him out more. But Olivia pretty much shot that down before, and he needs Ned to talk to Olivia again and convince her, like, run these tests and figure out what's going on with him and why he always so quiet and reserved and stuff, because that's not normal too much for a child, for a regular child, to be all reserved and quiet all the time like that, so of course they're a little concerned about that. I would be too. So I'm glad they had that conversation. Um, so anyway, I think that's pretty much everything about this episode. I believe so. I think it is. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything with this episode. This was good. This was an intriguing episode, I feel, because now we're moving the needle on some storylines. And it was, like I said, it was an emotional roller coaster with some of these people. Um, so yeah, hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about it. I'll see you all later. Have a great day. Peace.